If you want to learn 1000 vocabulary words in just 1 month and never forget them, then this video is for you. Minasan, konnichiwa, Miejie desu. Hi everyone, I'm Miejie. I love learning languages and I've been learning Japanese for quite some time. I've already passed the JLPT N5 and N4 and I'm currently preparing for the JLPT N3. I'm studying Japanese on my own and I had so many inefficient ways before for learning Japanese vocabulary, like trying to memorize words alphabetically or per hiragana character, as well as trying to memorize standalone words instead of learning them through context. But as I keep on learning, I discovered how to learn vocabulary fast and easy the scientific way. In this video, I'm going to share with you 5 science-based study tips to help you learn vocabulary more effectively and efficiently. So get your notebook and pen ready and make sure to watch this video until the end. Junbi wa ii? Hajimemashou! Tip number 1. Mnemonics. Mnemonics are learning strategies that aid in retaining information by associating it with something more comprehensible or meaningful. Studies show that we tend to remember information better when it is meaningful to us and when humor is involved. For example, if you're trying to learn the Japanese word for fish, which is sakana, you can associate it with images or words that are more relatable to you. The more meaningful the mnemonic is to you, the better you can remember the word. Here are some examples. Since I'm a Filipino and we have a lot of jokes about fish in the Philippines, one way to remember that sakana means fish is by remembering this joke. May joke ako tungkol sa isda, pero sakana. For English speakers, you can try remembering this mnemonic instead. Something's fishy. What's inside the sakana? If you have other mnemonics for remembering sakana, please feel free to share in the comments. Tip number 2. Bite-sized learning. Shiteru? We are distracted almost every 3 minutes, and the most striking part is that it would take an average of 23 minutes for us to get back to our original task. That being the case, if you want to learn vocabulary more efficiently, it is best to do bite-sized learning. Learning smaller pieces of information in shorter periods of time allows our brain to be more focused, thus allowing us to retain more of what we've learned. Learning 100 words per day may not be everyone's cup of tea, but if you want to set this as a goal, this can be possible when you do bite-sized learning. Instead of trying to learn 100 words at once for hours, try learning 10 to 20 words only for about 5 to 10 minutes. What works for me is a 25-minute Pomodoro study method. This may or may not work for you, so please feel free to explore the study methods that you think would best suit your learning style. Tip number 3. Contextual learning. Japanese has a lot of similar words that have different meanings. It also has words that could easily be confused with another word. Tatoeba, genki, tenki, denki. And lastly, there are a lot of words that would be difficult to understand without context. In order to learn vocabulary more efficiently, it is necessary to learn the meaning of the word in context. We understand the meaning of the words better when we see or hear them used in sentences or phrases. My favorite way to learn through context is by learning the lyrics of Japanese songs. If you love to read, you can also learn the words through context by reading Japanese novels, short stories, newspapers, or magazines. Tip number 4. Active recall and spaced repetition. We have 2 types of memory, short-term and long-term. Our memory has a use it or lose it quality. Our brain only tends to remember things that are called up and used frequently. The same is true when it comes to learning vocabulary. We will only tend to remember the words that we use actively or revise frequently. Studies also show that it normally takes at least 8 to 10 exposures before we learn and understand a new word. Thus, if you want to retain the vocabulary words you've learned, your goal is to make it part of your long-term memory. And the way to do that is by having constant exposure to the word by doing revisions frequently. One of the best ways to learn vocabulary through active recall and spaced repetition is by using flashcards. Creating your own flashcards may be effective, but it can also be very time-consuming. So the more efficient way to learn through flashcards is by using apps specifically designed for learning vocabulary through spaced repetition. One of the language learning apps that I love and would highly recommend for learning Japanese vocabulary fast and easy is MochiMochi Learn Kanji. MochiMochi is a great app not only for learning vocabulary but also for learning kanji. Through MochiMochi, you can learn 1000 kanji and vocabulary words in just 1 month. It has courses from JLPT N5 to N2, and it also has specialized courses for IT, nursing, and service industry. Moreover, it also features vocabulary words based on Mina no Nihongo 1 and 2. One thing that I like about this app is that it categorizes vocabulary words per topic. The lessons are also bite-sized, so it's not overwhelming. With each lesson, you can learn about 10 to 15 words, and it only takes about 5 to 10 minutes. If you want to learn a specific topic, you can select that category and learn those vocabularies.
挨拶
MochiMochi has flashcards with lively images and audio, which makes learning a delightful experience. The audio can be played back at normal or slower speed. After learning each word, you'll be asked to do mini quizzes to test if you understand a new word. It also has sample sentences with English translation, so you can learn the meaning of the words through context. With MochiMochi, you can learn over 6,000 vocabulary words and kanji. This app is also designed with bright colors to bring you a positive, energetic feeling. But what I love most about this app is its most special and unique feature called Golden Time. MochiMochi uses a combination of spaced repetition and special algorithms to analyze your learning history and reminds you to review words at Golden Time. German psychologist Hermann Ebbinghaus developed a curve of forgetting. It reflects how we forget information over time if we do not repeat it. By revising words when you're about to forget them, you can improve your memory 10 times better. That specific timing is called Golden Time. MochiMochi reminds you to review words at Golden Time, so make sure to turn on your notifications. During revision time, you will have to do small quizzes about your learned vocabulary. Your vocabulary will be leveled up for the words that you can remember correctly. On the other hand, the words that you fail to remember will be pushed down to level 1. You'll see how many words you got correctly after answering all the questions. MochiMochi has 5 levels of memorization. Level 1 to Level 5. When you start learning new vocabulary, those words will be categorized to Level 1. After revision, the words that you have remembered correctly will move up to the next level. Meanwhile, the words that you fail to remember will remain at Level 1. On the next revision, words that you have remembered correctly will move up to higher levels. On the other hand, the words that you forget will be pushed back to Level 1. Sumari, the better you have remembered the words, the higher the level will be. Words that you have already mastered are categorized to Level 5. Thus, if you want to never forget the words you've learned, your goal is to reach level 5. Words at lower levels will have more revision schedules than those at higher levels. This for me is an amazing feature of MochiMochi because it ensures that you focus on learning words that you haven't yet mastered. You can also tap on this notebook to check the list of vocabulary words you've learned per level. Just to share, I started using MochiMochi last year and it has been really helpful for my JLPT N4 review. There's a word that I keep on forgetting, and guess what? That word was asked in the actual test. Good thing MochiMochi helped me to remember that word. I'm also using MochiMochi for learning JLPT N3 kanji and vocabulary. To be honest, learning N3 kanji and vocabulary has been challenging for me, but with MochiMochi, I was able to learn over 1,000 words in just 1 month. If you're also preparing for the JLPT N5 to N2 and you want to learn kanji and vocabulary fast and easy, I highly recommend that you also try MochiMochi. It's free to download and it's available both in App Store and Play Store. You can also access the lessons through their website. I will leave the links in the description and comments. Thank you so much MochiMochi for collaborating again with me and for sponsoring this video. Tip number 5, output-based learning. I hear and I forget, I see and I remember, I do and I understand. Confucius. If you want to learn and master vocabulary fast, simply hearing or seeing the words won't be enough. It is essential to apply what you've learned. One of the best ways to do this is by creating your own sentences or by writing a journal using the words that you've learned. For example, you have learned that the Japanese word for fish is sakana. Now you can create a sentence using that word. Instead of saying I ate fish, you can replace fish with sakana and say I ate sakana. Or better yet, you can use a translator to help you translate a whole sentence to Japanese. The app that I often use for translating sentences is Papago. To sum it up, here are the 5 science-based study tips to help you learn vocabulary fast and easy. Ikaga deshita ka? I hope you find this video helpful for your Japanese language learning journey. I'll be sharing more language learning tips on my next video, so make sure to like and subscribe. Also make sure to try MochiMochi to fast-track your progress in learning Japanese kanji and vocabulary.
MochiMochi!
That's all for now. 見てくれてありがとう。日本語の勉強頑張ってください。じゃあね。
あーやこれ好き。これください。